Hello YouTube, this is Keith Kevin Kent. How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. It's time again for another knife of the day, and this is a special one. Last week I showed you the Drunken. Man, I was looking forward to that knife for about a year. Here's another one I was looking forward to for a year. It's the new Spyderco Ikuchi. The new Spyderco Ikuchi by Paul Alexander. And a lot of you in the comments have said you waiting for this knife. I have to admit, I wasn't all that excited about the knife. When I came home from work, this was sitting and I've been playing with it. It's brand new. And I'm so excited about this knife. Let's talk about it. It is so thin. They did everything right with this knife. You know, when you get a brand new Spyderco and you think they've done everything right, you start playing with it, and the first thing you think about is, I can't wait for variations. I can't wait for a sprint run on this. So, please, Blade HQ, do M4 with this knife. That went through my head the first 5 minutes I had this knife in my hands. So let's talk about it. The Ikuchi, Ikuchi from Paul Alexander, an engineer, big knife enthusiast, and has really designed a lot of different kind of knives for Spyderco. So let's talk about this one. First, the blade, full flat ground blade, S30V steel from Crucible, CPM S30V, full flat ground. It is a slicer. A thin stock, super sharp, small spidey hole, and we'll show you why. Real nice blade. 3.2 inches in length for the blade. The entire knife is 7.6 inches long. It's not a small knife by any means, but boy is it thin, super thin knife. It only weighs 2.1 ounces, only 2.1 ounces. It is like a feather in the hand. And because of its super low profile, fits in the pocket really nice. It is super thin. Now, we talked about the blade, but let's talk about the other things in it, okay? What makes this special? First of all, you know that it's a compression lock. This literally, I've had it in my hands for about 20 minutes. It is centered. It's a very light blade. The compression lock, as you can see, has a little notch right there to make that compression lock easy to get to right here. Super thin profile, stainless steel liners. It's riding on bearings, ball bearings. So it's a very smooth knife. And of course, what makes this knife super special is the wheel flipper. The great thing about having this thin profile, everything thin, by the way, this is carbon fiber on top of G10. Carbon fiber on top of G10. Heavily skeletonized stainless steel liners. That's me. That is not the flipper. That's the first time it didn't just swap out there. You can tell it's on bearings too. It's very smooth. Stainless steel liners that are skeletonized inside to keep down on the weight. You see this hole right here? that actually covers, it goes through all the way because the Spidey hole fits right around it. This is an index point. At least that's what Spyderco is saying. So even if you're blind, not blind, but if you're just feeling your knife, you want to know what end is up so you can flip it. That's the index point right there. When they talked about this early on, the wheel flipper, I was like, it's a gimmick. Man, it flies out there nice. It really does. They talk about it, and I agree. It has some jimping on it so that you can get a good swipe at it. They talk about it as if it's like a lighter. A good lighter, the wheel that you have for the lighter, that spark wheel. It's just like that. What I love about it is by cutting off this edge, it takes up no room. It helps this super thin profile. And I'll show you when I compare it to other knives. This is a really nice knife. Again, a full 7.6 inches total, 3.2 inches of blade, full flat ground. But man, with that thin body, that thin blade, of course we know the compression lock, and that wheel flipper, that really has everything going for it. And of course, if that's not making this knife wonderful, they also added the wire deep carry clip to it as well. I've noticed there's no lanyard hole here. So if you're a big lanyard fan, there's no real lanyard hole here. But I'm okay with that because I think you don't sacrifice the design. I'm happy that you have the real thin wire clip. Doesn't add weight to it. See-through construction. Very easy to clean. And the clip is right hand, left hand, tip up only. Of course, because of the wheel flipper. A really nice knife, folks. I'm so happy. I'm surprised at how much I like this. It's so flush right here on the edges. It's so light. Put it in my pocket. It doesn't take up any room. Because it has no flipper, traditional flipper that hangs out there, and instead has the wheel flipper. It just springs out there. I want to see this in other blade steels. I would love to have super carbon fiber on the scales. I would love to see a Blade HQ version of this. I'm thrilled. First the Drunken, then we get the Ikuchi, and of course both of them we saw in the catalog about a year ago. So it's great that they finally have come out. I am thrilled. At first when they said index hole, it's funny how much I've been using that to know where I am. Oh, it feels great in the hand. No jimping on the blade. But again, this is not a heavy use kind of knife. Oh, I'm happy to have this. I received 3 new Spydercos. So tomorrow we'll have another new one. And then the 3rd. And who knows, we might have more new knives coming in after that. The knife of the day, the brand new, just released Spyderco Ikuchi, designed by Paul Alexander, with a compression lock and that wheel flipper. I wanted to compare it with the Delica, since most of you are familiar with the Delica, so you can see how long it is. And then, of course, a paramilitary 2. There you have it, brand new knife of the day from Spyderco, designed by Paul Alexander. It's the Ikuchi with the compression lock, the brand new for Spyderco wheel flipper, S30V steel, 3.2 inches, full flat grind with that carbon fiber laminate on top of G10. Just a wonderful knife. Don't forget to subscribe. Guess what? Yeah, thinning's coming probably in 2 weeks. So subscribe if you want to take advantage of the sale of some pieces in my collection. Some new ones as well that'll be coming up. Also subscribe just to help me out. Seriously, less than 30% of the people who watch the videos and watch them often actually spend a couple of seconds to subscribe. So do that for me. I appreciate all of you guys. Hey, take a couple of minutes away from social media a day. 30 minutes? And just try to be alone with your thoughts. And I know that's hard, especially if you have families or significant other, whatever. But just try. All right? Believe me, it'll make you a better person. Sometimes it's not that hard. I know for me to sit still and just think. But do that. You'll be a better husband, father, brother, companion, friend. If I would have done it 20, 30 years ago, I would be a better father, brother, son, etc. Hey, wishing you guys all happiness. Keep those pockets full. Goodbye.